This 30% alcohol booze is sweeping the nation, and it can be made from table sugar with no special equipment. I'm going to show you how it's done so you can avoid ever accidentally making it. Basically, you remove 1 quart of water from a gallon, and then you put in 1 lemon's worth of juice. Next, in goes 2.5 pounds of sugar. The yeast are going to eat that sugar and turn it into alcohol, and so that's going to make this into about a 15% alcohol by volume wine made from sugar and water. To do that requires a champagne yeast. This is a yeast that can ferment up to like 18% alcohol, and that just goes right in. But the yeast are going to need some nutrient, and so 1 tablespoon of a nutrient called Fermade O, you can Google that goes right on in there, and then just a rubber glove with a rubber band goes over the top, and a hole is punctured in that glove, and that acts as an airlock to keep bad bugs out, but letting the carbon dioxide from fermentation escape. After about a week, all the sugar will be gone, so this will be at 15% alcohol. And then those rapscallions making this stuff will just replace that rubber glove with the lid that came on the jug and pop it into the fridge to cold crash, which makes the yeast drop out. And then that just goes into a separate water bottle. It's just poured off really, really delicately so all the yeast stays in the first jug. And that can be used to make another batch. And then all the air gets squeezed out, and that jug goes into the freezer for 3 days to freeze. So here's where it gets really crazy. After it is frozen, basically the alcohol doesn't freeze, but the water does. So if you flip it upside down, what happens is all the alcohol drains out, but the water ice stays behind. And so all you get out is alcohol. And so what you get out is a drink that's about 30 to 35% alcohol, and all the water ice stays in that other bottle. You can just throw that out. Technically, the government frowns on this, and that's why y'all college folks out there should not be making this. But it is kind of wild that folks are using science at home to make hard liquor with no special equipment. Now, I do understand this looks like something you find at a truck stop parking lot, and so a lot of folks will put butterfly pea blossoms into it in order to color it. So all these folks are doing is pouring it onto butterfly pea blossoms and letting it sit for an hour. The color infuses, and purple is a much more appetizing color than yellow. Then that gets strained off again into an empty liquor bottle. And you can see here how this would be indistinguishable from a store-bought distilled spirit. So my understanding of how people are consuming this is that a shot, maybe 2 shots are poured over ice into a pint glass, and then a lemon lime soda is poured on top of this. This cocktail is called a grimace, and again, it is made from a distilled spirit called purple nurple that can be made in your freezer. Stay safe out there, folks.